What's up, people? A little impromptu live, a little extra for you this week. My buddy Tommyfyeah is here in town, running from the virus.
Hell yeah.
Running from the Northeast to sunny Florida, and we're about 2 hours prior to the giveaway recipient showing up to come and take possession of the car. So we've had an action-packed day. You saw me wash a car, which is very appropriate when you walk in.
That's true. You're already.
I should be washing a car,
Yep.
right? Wouldn't you expect that?
Yep.
So I was doing O&R, doing a rinseless wash to the M5, getting it prepared. Just finished vacuuming the interior, and I get accused for clean cars all the time.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say it looked clean before you started. So.
There's some dirt. There's some dirt on the rags.
You had to freshen up the tire dressing.
Oh yeah, the tire dressing is so good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it looks legit. It's just black, nice, clean, legit looking tires. So what I want to talk about here today, we'll give a little background on Tommy for those of you guys who don't know him, and then I want to talk a lot about the Civic build today. I want you to school me, since you're like an original
OG.
JDM legend.
Oh yeah,
You
like
stayed in the game.
Yep.
I was in the game.
You
20 years
graduated?
ago. Yeah. I guess that does make me a little better than you.
Yeah.
I never graduated, or
Sure.
I graduated. You
I never
just
graduated.
stayed there.
Yeah.
It's like you're still in high school.
I'm
I
still
went
there.
to college and I came back home. We're still boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're still in high school.
Yeah, I guess it's true. That is true. It's unfortunate, but
So you live in Connecticut. We've met Adam Msz is a mutual friend of ours, and we met at. Did we meet at the Smokies event?
I think we officially met at his
First open house 2 years ago.
Yep, yeah, and then the Smokies event.
We have a lot in common, just
right.
from our lifestyle of how we live our lives on YouTube and publicly and business wise. There's a lot of similarities.
Attention
there.
to detail.
Yeah, and so it's funny. You and I, Adam's just sitting there like the third wheel, and you and I are just going back and
he
forth.
walked away. Actually, he was like, "I'm gonna go edit," and we just sat at the fire and talked about nonsense.
So, what's your background? What are you into? What's your channel about?
So,
give me a little
I'm all about Japanese cars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why, because I've been asked that before. I don't really know why. It's just like, I'll tell you though. The most embarrassing part is, I guess it's embarrassing. The Fast and the Furious is what got me into cars.
Okay.
Like nothing.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. I was 15 years old, 15 and a half, about to get my license, and it was awesome. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then like all the older dudes were into cars, whatever. They were all junk. Now that you look back.
So at 15, when you're watching that, was it a little cheesy, or was it like perfect?
I think 15-year-olds are like the cheesiest humans alive. So when I was watching it, I was like,
This is what I want to be.
This is what it's like? Okay.
Yeah. See, I was 19, so I knew it was cheesy,
right.
But I love the whole, it brought my culture, my love into like the mainstream.
Well, I'm like jealous-ish of people like you, because you had a background before that movie.
Yeah.
So you were like probably a little better off, I'd say. That movie was my background. So you're watching it. I'm not catching like the Motec Systems exhaust. I'm not catching the mistakes. I'm just listening and watching.
And the fact that they're shifting like 47 times.
I mean, I realized that, but I had no car knowledge whatsoever prior to that. I just skateboarded when I was younger.
Same here. Yeah.
No car knowledge at all. So, but I watched that. I remember being like obsessed with the Jetta, and I despise Volkswagens today.
Really?
But when I was younger, I saw that. I was like, oh, that Jetta's cool,
Jetta's a girl's car.
Yeah, it's a girl's car. It's a girl's car. So luckily, Chet, my buddy Chet, he was older. I don't know how old he was at that time, but he's probably 5 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
He had a Civic, and he kind of was, and his dad was really into Hondas. His dad's like an older dude, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Had CRXs. So my first car, because of him and his dad, were Hondas. Luckily, because I could have been a Volkswagen, that would have been terrible for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So my first car was a CR. Yeah.
That dark gray that all the CRXs came in. It was
yeah. No, mine was a Tahitian green SI, and it had like, I remember the Falcon Azenis. I think they call them the 615. I don't know what they are now, but had the Falcon Azenis, had sway bars, Skunk 2 suspension. It didn't have any power mods. It had like an exhaust, and that was like my first car. And I don't know. Just after that, I just really got into like doing things OEM. Like I had Del Sol wheels on it, you know, and like I didn't like aftermarket stuff. It was weird, and I still today don't love it. I mean, I do, but don't, you know.
But what about was like, so for me, the Bible was JDM.
Yeah.
Because the big thing at Fast and Furious time were fake Altezas and underglow and fiberglass stuff.
I luckily never did that. And
Yeah,
I look back and I'm like,
hated it.
how did I not do that?
Yeah.
Like, you know, underglow's kind of coming back. I don't want to say that out loud. Like drifters and stuff are putting it back because they're flashy.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone has their little story of being a little ricey, I'll say, you know, and I don't have that. I never did it. And it was just, I just knew right away it was just not tasteful. You know, right away.
So I mean, I wanted, I loved some of the American tuners like Comtech. Remember Comtech back in the day?
Yep.
And so I loved that you know, Jackson Racing and stuff. But I also love, you know, Toda and Ray's Engineering big. Volk and Tane. Is it pronounced TN or Tane?
It's actually pronounced Tane.
Tane.
Tane. Yeah.
So Tane, I had a Tane Type SH, you know, horrible suspension.
Yeah, they're the worst one.
But it looked to me that was like the ultimate.
Yeah, the green, you know, and the Takata harnesses were green.
And then if you could get some Civic Type R stuff, that was my bag, you know. And then of course, you know, so I got Civic S2000, RSX S2000, and then I went to the German.
You went to the dark side.
Yeah, then I went to M3. I always wanted an M3, but an M3 too far out of reach.
So I went. I had the Tahitian green CRX SI. I ended up selling it to a buddy, and I bought a Barbados yellow Y49 CRX, which is cursed. You know the Y49 curse?
No.
So if you go on Honda Tech or anything, that's a cursed color. They're always crashed and stolen like the most, you know. So I had that with a ZC swap, which was a dual cam D series, basically. So it's a 1.6 liter. It was like just below the LS engine as far as like performance. But it like dropped right into CRXs and it was older. I think it came in Integras in Japan.
So that was early on. You're in the swap game early in life.
Right off rip. So, you know, I'm 17.
Yeah.
Had the Barbados yellow. Then I ended up trading it and this Captiva blue rusted hatch, which now that I think about it, it was 2003 at the time. The hatch was a 93, so it was only 10 years old. It was rotted out.
Shoot.
Like crazy.
Yeah, because you're in the Northeast. And some of these cars that aren't taken care of. Yeah.
So I traded those for a Civic CX, another hatch, a red one that the clear coat was all gone, and a 99 GSR swap. So an 03 and 99 GSR swap was like new.
Yeah.
Had 28,000 miles. And that was swapped. And I did like 13 by 8 inch Kaiser wheels and suspension sway bars. And I was like, the car was awesome. I thought it was the fastest thing ever. And like right after that, my buddy was like one of the first kids to get a Subaru, an STI when they came out in 04.
And you just walking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I beat him. I didn't, like, destroy him, but I beat him. And that was, like, I loved that. I loved, like, the underdog. That was, like, the Honda thing. That's how I justified it anyway. I don't know if I actually liked it or if I was like, it's cooler to beat fast cars with shitty cars, you know?
Yeah. It's always that, you know, you're making excuses for...
Straight up,
you know, linear power and all motor and all of that, and so that's where a lot of us, I think, that for me, I much prefer a linear delivered, less horsepower car. That tends to be my favorite.
Same.
You know, if I had a choice of forced induction, I tend to prefer the power delivery supercharged car.
I've never felt a supercharged car in my life.
Yeah, really.
And I like want to, but.
Well, it's like amplifies the stock torque, stock horsepower and torque curve generally, you know.
I think the biggest reason I haven't felt it is because not a lot of stock Japanese cars come with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to like supercharge. I mean, what car would I do that to?
Yeah.
You know. So I want to kind of do it to the Colorado because it's big to do like the LSA and stuff. By the way, Matt went for a ride in the Colorado.
Yeah, check out the Tommyfyeah channel.
470 wheel horsepower.
Me reminding him that I'm a very fragile human.
It was fun.
I am very aware of my mortality.
Yeah,
and so
same. I'm pretty careful. You know, LZ will scare you. You know, but
and I got to give him, he is gifted.
Yeah, he's good.
You know, he is gifted behind the.
Which has a lot to do with that too. You kind of, he hasn't developed that risk assessment.
Yeah, but he knows the racing line just inherently.
And that car control from drifting, you kind of trust him more. Like, oh, I know if something goes wrong,
he's going to correct.
He kind of know, he knows what to do here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you can be fast, and
I have no idea what to do. In fact, in the mountains, I had the car come around on me the first time, and I just let go.
Oh, really?
The car straightened me out because
Yeah.
I had the traction control on.
That's scary. That's scary. Yeah, no. So that helps.
I mean, I didn't consciously let go.
Right, you just.
But I didn't counter steer or anything.
Right.
Again, I didn't have to because the car is like, it skidded me right straight. But that was the first time I've ever had a GT car come around on me.
That's scary.
I think I went slightly wheel off off the pavement, and then it wants to come around.
Right.
And
that'll get you.
Yeah, that slowed me down because I was getting pretty hot boy that day.
That's awesome. Yeah, no. So the whole like supercharger thing, you've felt one on a.
I've driven a Jackson Racing, B16 back in the day.
Was that sick?
Well, no, because it was like 200 horsepower. But
Jesus, that's it.
But I had supercharged cars since then. Like the supercharged Z06.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is supercharged.
Yeah, just insane amounts of horsepower. And then I had the supercharged B18 S4. Audi S4 I've had before. I'm trying to think of what other cars. Oh yeah, I had a Vortec S2000.
Right.
And I didn't like it.
No,
it's just too much for that car.
So that's what I'm about. I'm about balanced. I call it like what the chassis can handle. I always like come up with this weird formula, and like with my Japanese cars, what can the chassis handle? What I mean by that is like how much tire can you actually fit without ruining the car, and then how light is the car. Yeah. So every car can make 1,000 horsepower. Right?
Sure.
There's not a car in existence that can't, but there's cars that can handle it and cars that can't, obviously. So with my cars, like I have an FTRX7 that everyone wants me to 3-rotor, 4-rotor, and do all this crazy stuff, but I want to keep it 2-rotor, keep it sequential twin turbos, but make 380 to 400 horsepower because all I can fit on the wheels that I like is a 255.
Yeah.
And if you go more than that, you're just going to spin. It's not going to be.
And how much value do you put on a car that works?
Oh yeah, all of it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just not interested in driving around with a laptop on my front seat and and having wires hanging out all over the place and having to do all this work.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a lot about the Civic here today, but I want something bulletproof, and I'm willing to sacrifice 20-30% potential for reliability and quality.
Yeah.
It's like this, Bryce, we were just talking about Apple before we got on here. I'm willing to sacrifice performance on this MacBook Pro, and I'm willing to pay more for it for the package, the packaging, the fit, the finish, the function. It's ironic that I have to send this in to get the speaker fixed, but
how old is it?
Like a month and a half.
Oh wow, that's not good for Apple.
It's the first, but this is like my 8th or 9th MacBook Pro, and it's the first problem I've ever had.
Well, when I was like 15-ish, I guess I got a HP laptop for Christmas, and it lasted like a year before it just started slowing down. I've had my MacBook Pro now since 2017, and you wouldn't know the difference from the day I got it. And that's all I've seen with Macs. I've got one of those. They're perfect. They're reliable. And
so I like that same thing in cars.
Same.
And so we're also going to talk a little bit about today about, and most of the people that are going to watch this understand the, why I'm buying a $25,000 Civic, why I bought that in order to.
I thought you'd spend more, to be honest with you.
I would have.
I thought you were going to, because I heard you were looking for that. I think you told me, and I was like, so this dude's probably going to be down to spend like 40.
I don't. I would pay more because otherwise I'd have to pay twice as much to get it to the place that it started at.
We were talking about that earlier.
It's just it'd be so much effort, and it still wouldn't be the same.
No, because you'd have to paint something, and then that painting wouldn't be original.
Seals, trying to install like original door jams in the way that it's not going to be the same. And so buying something that's a better platform from the beginning is just something that I'm hyper interested in.
And that's where I can relate to you, because that's the same thing with my RX-7. It's 6,000 original miles, and people are like, don't ruin it, keep it a stock. And they don't know, one, it sucks stock.
Yeah,
it's not
all these
cool.
old Japanese cars. The whole appeal.
It's a tuner scene. I hate saying that out loud. It's tuning.
Right.
You have to do it.
They took an Econo box, and then like an RX-7 or a Civic Si or a Type R. It's just an Econo box with some cool stuff put on it that gives you a bolt-on platform that you can mess with. That's the fun.
I find as I get older too, I'm becoming like this weird purist that I hate, like where I want, like you get a Skyline or you get an RX-7, they're twin turbo stock. Yes, everyone will do tests and say single turbo's better, less heat, and I'm like, yeah, but I like that. Like, I like the original characteristics of the car.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't want to engine swap and put a 3-rotor. I want to build it as if a Japanese dude built it in his backyard in 1998.
Yeah.
And went to their local Toda or went to Top Stage and bought spoon parts. And you know what I mean? That's so much cooler to me than getting this billet CNC off the shelf in America part that
makes an extra 30 horsepower. Or no, in this case, 3 horsepower.
Yeah,
but
with your
13
case.
horsepower.
Yeah.
I much prefer the path of buying something super clean. I just don't want something that's I don't want something that's been molested to the point to where it's not good. It's beat up. It's garbage. I know for YouTube it'd be much better to buy a janky example.
Pull it out of the woods.
Jacked up paint. Yeah.
Yeah.
And clean it up, rat droppings.
But you'll hate the car in 5 years when you remember that you pulled it out of the woods and it was full of rat
I don't want that. I understand it's, but I'm just, first of all, I'm not going to ruin the car. I'm going to make it better.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You can't really ruin.
I'm not going to be hacking out the back seats and putting a roll bar in, and I'm not doing that.
Right.
If I was going to put a roll bar in, it would bolt to factory locations.
Right.
If I'm going to put, we're putting a suspension on, it's going to bolt on to the factory spot. And then my door jams are clean and there's no no run marks from me repainting crap and all the clips are broken because I had to take it all apart.
That's what people don't understand is that I've done that and I'm sure you've done that, and at the end you either spend more to get what you would have got if you spent the $25,000,
or you never even get it there,
or it never gets there and you just don't like the car.
You quit,
and you hate it. I got aware of that years ago, and I was like, I have to stop doing this because I'm trying to settle because I can't find the black R1 RX-7 I want. I'm going to get this one that had the pillar painted, and I'll just have it fixed or something and end up selling it. You don't get that. I don't get that bond with it where I'm like, this is perfect. I appreciate that it's perfect.
So on your channel, you spend a lot of time, looking for rare stuff, and
that's my bag. Yeah, I love I think. I don't even care about the cars anymore. That's another thing I've noticed as I get older. They're a I don't know,
it's like a
piece,
platform.
Yeah, platform for all the cool parts.
Yeah.
And I love the cool parts, and they're all old. I like that not everyone can buy this one piece, and I have to hunt it down. Like, I'll give you an example. I found I have an Evo 4. So Adam, Adam's Evo 5. Mm-hmm. The Evo 4 is a little more modest looking, doesn't have like the flares, and I hunted down a thing called VCAM, which is like VTEC. It's basically VTEC, but HKS made it aftermarket. Mm-hmm. So what they did was they made an adjustable exhaust. Is it exhaust? No, adjustable intake cam. Mm-hmm. And they made it for the 4G63, which is the Evo engine, but they made it so close to the Evo 9, which has MyVec, that when it came out, the MyVec came out however long later. I don't know the exact history, but they ended up producing like barely any because OEM ended up, Mitsubishi ended up doing it.
Right.
So I found one in Malaysia. I talked to a guy who we didn't talk. If you look at our WhatsApp, we both weren't understanding each other. I sent, $4,000 to Malaysia, and I hoped that I was going to get this piece, and I got it, and it's on my shelf, and it's just cooler than that car could ever be, that part.
Yeah.
Because there's maybe, I'm just going to throw a number, maybe there's 200 of those out there.
Yeah.
And that's just what I love, and I think it's
the chase, and then you're waiting, and you're wondering if you're going to lose. It's like a gamble, right?
Well, it's the same with like rare colored cars. Like the GT3 RS. What's the rarest color?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
whatever. A bunch of weird paint to sample colors. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And if you find one in exactly the spec you want, it's so much cooler than just getting a black one.
And that's where we go back to me paying $40,000 for a Civic. If you want it, it's worth something to somebody that wants it.
Right.
And it's not of consequence to me. Like, I'm not putting myself out to get this car.
No.
Right. And so I'm not like leveraging my house and my kids' future education to get this car. And so I know that when I finish this car, I'm going to be $100,000 into it, and it's still going to be worth $20,000.
Right. That's the least fun part of it, but yeah, that's
but
okay.
I understand that. I know what I'm getting into going in, and it doesn't bother me. I'm so enamored by the chase of all this cool stuff.
So
and
fun.
then I am so fortunate. We're both so fortunate in that I have the option that I could just part it out and sell everything in an instant.
Right. Yeah.
Take it apart, put it back together,
and maybe even profit. You could. There's
maybe
a chance, like with the stuff that I'm buying.
For you,
I could profit. If you don't go to if it's no longer available, I'm finding deals, whatever.
You're going to find a guy like me who, like, if you had a spoon hood,
you'd buy it.
I'd pay you. Well, how much you want?
Don't say the number.
Somebody
might have it, so don't say the
$5,000. I'll take it right now.
You blew it.
It's a $1,200 hood.
You blew it.
If you had it, I'll buy it.
You hear that, guys?
Well, that's what I did with the car. I'm a terrible negotiator, but. So that's option one, and you can do it where you don't have to work. In the old days, I had to take all these photos and put it on Honda Tech or put it on Club
and
SI.
Deal with people.
And dealing with, will you take this or that? It doesn't matter what you ask. It's always, will you take X amount less?
What's your bottom dollar? I love that. I'll always respond, well, I'm not in the business of negotiating with myself, so whenever you're ready to make an offer, I'm here. Don't make me negotiate with myself. At least lowball me. At least say a number.
I usually just tell them freaking get lost because I always price everything.
I'm always curious I love when people lowball me because everyone goes into a sale thinking you need the money so bad. That's what I've noticed. Consumers think you need me to buy this from you. I know you know that. Yeah. And then when you go no, I've gotten people that got really upset that I said no. They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like I've got cash, and I'm like, yeah, everyone has cash.
What does cash do for me?
That's my favorite thing too. I'll buy it. I have cash. Like, well, what else was I gonna take? A check? No, everyone has cash.
You can send me a check. You just gotta wait another 10 days for it to clear.
And I don't do that.
That doesn't help or hurt me.
No.
Yeah. So the buying of things, and then the other option is, of course, you can do something promotional, like a giveaway.
Right. And
just like the M5, I bought. I spent too much on it. I knew I was going to. I knew what it was worth. I knew that somebody might buy it. Just somebody like me who said, "Look, I just want this car. I like what you did. I'll buy it." Like my S2000 sold for $65,000.
Right. You lost tons of money. Probably.
It's a $40,000 car. I was like $70,000 into it, and I sold it for $65,000 instead of $40,000. Right. And the found a guy who wanted it.
He wanted all the parts you did. He knew. He trusted you.
He knew it would cost him, another $5,000 or $10,000 to do it.
Right.
And then plus all the time and the back and forth and all of this stuff.
Yeah, no one bills out for those hours. You call in the shop or towing things or any of that. Never puts that in there.
And so sometimes, it's rare, but sometimes someone will pay for that. And most of the time they won't, but sometimes they will. And so with the M5, I put it out there, say if somebody want to buy it for $75,000, which is still $20,000 than what I had into it. And then when somebody said no one stepped up, then I did a giveaway and made $100,000.
Well, as I say, we're impervious to losing money in the car game at this point. For one, we have a great audience that if you have something, you've opened your sales audience infinite.
Right. And then you find a new grouping of people that is almost unquantifiable of how much
and they're directly interested in what you have. It's not like. Yeah. You want to sell that laptop to your viewers, maybe harder than the set of wheels,
Right.
But the other thing, I always tell this to my viewers, I want to experience a lot of cars, and I want to experience certain setups and whatever else, and the giveaways allow me to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do this if I couldn't give it away and then get all my money back. Like I built a K Miata. Mm-hmm. I built in my opinion, what I thought was the best setup possible. I had like $60,000 into the car, and I gave it away, and I broke even by the skin of my teeth on that one, and that car would have sold for $20,000.
Yeah,
and like I
and
got
you
to experience
you would have had to fight to try to find someone to buy it.
And I would have had to deal with a lot of people, and I don't have time for that. But
and then all the work like the M5, I'm like, I don't want to do all the work to take it back.
Right. And then put it back to stock or something.
So because I could get 75 grand out of it, take all the parts, sell the parts for 60, 70, 80 cents on the dollar, depending on how hard those parts were to get.
Right.
And then, just put all the other parts back on. I'm going to pay someone to do that. Or worse, I've got to do it. And so like the Corvette, I just sunk cost. I just sold it as is. Now somebody has a sick Corvette.
And you've openly expressed your opinion on the Corvette?
Yeah, it freaking sucks. I hate it. I hate it so badly.
So okay, just explain. All right, so you drove the truck, which has a very similar, or you rode in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it remind you of the Corvette?
It's like my Chevy Beretta gauges from back in the day.
Yeah, the steering wheel is like the Cavalier steering
wheel. It's just, I'm just past that.
Yeah.
And I know many, many guys have gone past Corvette and said, you know what, the value, the performance, the nostalgia, especially if you grew up in that, that in that era, like if your dad or your grandfather or you, that was your first car. Just like you're so nostalgic and dug into, old JDM cars. Right. There's, groupings of people that have taken that path. Well, I never did. I like my crappy Civic more than the Z06.
Right. That's funny.
If you gave me the choice of which one, I'd take the Civic.
But I also value your opinion more-ish because of that, because most people would just be like, well, the Corvette's faster, or in paper, the Corvette's a better car.
And
it
just depends what you're into. Clearly, I'm not into straight line speed or around the track lap times. It's just not my bag.
Right.
So every single car you're making excuses for, like your Honda.
Every single car.
So every single car you're going to make excuse of why you like it. And so the reason I like Porsche and BMW, I mean, there's some issues there that if you didn't like them, like if I don't like the Corvette, I buy it, and it's just all the things I hate. They're just glaring to me. But yet on a 911, I know the things that aren't good, but I don't care.
Right,
because
the
it checks the boxes.
outweigh.
Right, pros outweigh the cons. And so I call the Corvette, it's a 50-50 car. For every great thing about it, there's an equal and opposite bad thing.
At least.
Maybe, yeah. But I mean, it's so fun that with that car, I totally understand it now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I completely understand. I cannot relate to 95% of the audience.
Right.
There's 5% that are watching this video that own Corvettes that just like them and say, Matt, I get it.
Right.
But the other 95% are, the typical right-wing crazy person who can only see one side of an argument.
The power, whatever car and driver said.
Right. And so those people I can't relate to. But I do understand. I empathize with what they like.
Right.
And you overlook the seating position. You overlook the stuff that just. And I don't think anything in the car is garbage. People talk about build quality and part quality. It's just how it's packaged. It's
American.
Yeah.
It's American.
But Ford packaging doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I would say like Adam's Mustang does feel nicer than,
even though it's probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Like the plastics are cheaper, but it's how they put it together. Dodge is just dog crap garbage. I can't even look at the dash.
What about a Viper though?
Same thing.
Yeah.
I just can't handle it. So a Viper it's like putting potpourri on poop. It's just bad.
Yeah.
But I understand it, and what I want to be able to say on my platform here is I want to be able to say what is so. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do it unashamedly. And so the Corvette, I think it sucks.
Well, I was saying to my buddy today, he was talking about critiquing things, and I was like, if you don't really hate things, I don't think you can actually like things, right? I don't think you can, or if you just like everything, then your opinion really is just kind of useless to me anyway.
Well, you're probably not truthful.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
There are a very small percentage of people who are just
they just see the positive in
rosy and nice.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
My wife, I envy that.
Yeah, same. So,
but I also would dread being that way.
Like, how long did it take you to pick out this desk? Where they would just go to Target or somewhere and just throw a desk in here. You spend
there's
hours.
There's like a 2% like little tidbit of my life where I'll just buy something.
Yeah.
But the other 98% of my life, I've got to like immerse myself into it.
It's bad. I deal with the same thing.
I'm trying to think of like when it's, and any time that I'm doing it where I'm just buying whatever's in the store, it's like I know that this is just wrong. I feel dirty. I feel regular.
Yeah. And with cars, I won't do it. With normal house stuff, maybe, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the desks, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah. So I can't, most things. I even find myself, getting in these tangents of like foods, and then I'm like, I'm going to buy all organic and chasing these crazy rabbit holes of my life, but I have to shut them down sometimes because it gets a little too crazy. But I don't even know what we're talking about. We're talking about the Corvette. Yeah, the Corvette brings it out of me.
So I dabbled with European cars. I got I've parted out over 200 E36s, BMWs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of M3s. I just found. I stumbled upon them and found that there was a lot of money in them in like 2004.
So you buy a wrecked car or beat up car and you tear it apart and sell the sorts of pieces?
At the time, it was 2014. The engines were worth about, to like the people who do SCCA and NASA and all that stuff, the engines were worth what I was getting the whole car for. Now they've started to come back up. But I could get, I'm 60 miles north of New York City. I'd go to New York City and find M3s all day, Long Island, all that stuff, and I can get them for my highest price would be like $2,500.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
And the engines would go for $2,500 at the time, $2,000. And then like, so there was like a formula where if it was like a black on black manual, I couldn't lose. I'd quadruple my money on a black on black because the interior was worth money, the manual swap was worth money, the engine was worth money, then whatever like M3 bumper, side skirts, rear bumper, all that stuff. So those would I make my most money on. And so then it got me looking into newer BMWs, and I bought a 1 Series. I love the 1M, but this was like I couldn't afford one. So I got a 135.
Yeah.
And I was going to do this big build, and it took the headlights out of it one day. And then I went to put them back in, and I needed to code something. And I said, that's it. I'm done. I need to bring this to the dealer to do a headlight swap. I bought like Euro headlights or something. Needed to be coded.
That makes me think of a question. So what's your background? You're so well spoken. You don't look the part of a well spoken guy.
Oh.
What's your background like? High school, college,
jobs.
No,
no college. High school, just public high school. I don't know. I'm like obsessed. I'm not OCD. I'm obsessed with things, and like cars are what I'm obsessed with. And I'll sit on, people see my YouTube channel, right? And you see 20-minute video or whatever, but they don't know that like I wake up before everyone in my family and hop my computer and I'm on Yahoo Auction Japan. I'm doing like car stuff, and then I do YouTube all day. I come home, do dinner, put the kids to sleep, and then I'm up till midnight, on Yahoo Auction Japan or just doing car stuff or in my Discord, just constant. My life pretty much revolves around cars.
But is that forced or is it just natural?
No, I love it.
Do you have to shut it down?
I have to shut it down. I've been getting like better. Like when I get tired, I go to sleep now. When I was younger, I'd stay up for like a day straight. Like I was crazy. There was a time when I lived in I moved back from California. I lived with my parents for like 6 months, and there was days when I wouldn't leave my room for like 3-4 days, just on the computer, just downloading. You know what I mean? Just in my brain, looking stuff up. And if you were to come to me with a Japanese car right now that I don't even own and maybe never owned, I could set you up. I could get you.
Well, you headed down the rabbit hole in my car.
Yeah,
you'd never done an EM1 before,
no, never even played with that generation. But yeah, like. I love it because like I get bored if I type in, chassis codes online, whatever I'm looking for, certain parts. There's only so much. So if I have 4 cars, I have the RX-7, the Evo, the GTR, whatever. If I type in BNR32, which is the R32, there's only so much I can get. So when you come to me and say like, hey, I got an EM1, I'm like, bing, like there's a new car that now I get to
go down the rabbit hole.
Go down the rabbit hole and find the weird stuff. But as far as schooling and stuff, I never went to school for mechanics. I just literally took things apart.
So were you always working for yourself, or you work odd jobs for a while?
I mean, when I was younger, like I remember my first job, I was a dishwasher at a hotel, and I had a Honda Spree scooter. Yeah. I was 15 years old. I'd rage it to this hotel, and I'd wash dishes. They'd do like weddings and stuff. I'd be up till like 2 a.m. washing dishes on the weekend, ride my scooter home, and it was all to pay for a car. That's the only reason I ever worked, and the only reason I work on cars is to save money because I don't want to pay someone to do it.
So before YouTube, you were flipping things.
I was flipping cars. I actually owned a landscaping business, which is really popular in my area.
Mm-hmm.
All the New Yorkers move up north or have like weekend homes.
Sure.
So the money that's in the area in Connecticut is absurd. And I remember talking to one of my lawn mowing clients, and she's like, I'll be honest with you, I pay more to park my Lexus SUV in New York City in 1 month than I pay you for a year.
Yeah.
Or a season. And I'm like, wow, fuck my life. You know what I mean? Like, her doorman gets tipped probably what I make mowing her lawn.
Yeah.
But it was sick money. I'd work one day. I'd make between $1,200 and $1,800 when I first started in one day. I'd work 12 hours, and then I'd have 6 days off, and I'd be driving around picking up BMWs.
So you've been hustling.
I don't like the idea of making money for someone else. Which we talked about earlier.
And so now you've found a platform where you're
it's
able
perfect.
to do
it's amazing. I mean, YouTube's insane. It's the coolest. It's the coolest because it's a community. So it's like you get back and forth if you want it. Mm-hmm. If you want to go into your comments and you want to have conversations about cars or arguments or whatever you want, you have that stimulation. You have sponsors, so you don't have to pay so much for parts anymore or tools or whatever. Occasionally, it's not always. You have other YouTubers where you can compete and and do that stuff.
Yeah.
You have giveaways. You get to just show people what you're about, and I think it's awesome. There's nothing better.
Yeah, to me, I view it as it's a way for me to find that captive grouping of people. I don't like to call it. You don't like to see the audience or fans. Or
I hate saying fans. I say
these
viewers
are just
because not a lot of them like me.
These are people that like just what I like. They're just not as motivated to get a camera out and do all the work, or maybe they don't speak the same or have the same drive. But we're all kind of thinking of the same stuff.
Well,
and so those are people that we're just like-minded.
The other weird, cool aspect of it is, it took me years to find things that I'm interested in or get like what I want out of cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I can hopefully accelerate that. And like, it's like having a kid, right? You have like I have a son. I'm like stoked to save him time. You know what I mean? Like I can go when he's 16, this is the setup. This is what you want, and he'll be like, cool. And I could do that with my audience and be like, guys, that K Miata, don't do it, or do it or whatever. If this is what you're looking for, do it. And I think I love that. I love being able to, like, I don't know, influence. I mean, no one was zinc plating bolts, on YouTube. No one was powder coating stuff on YouTube. They were doing wheels or whatever. No, and I like even Adam. I love helping Adam out, and now his builds have accelerated. I'm not saying just because of me, but he's even said like, "Oh, you need to hang out with this person because they need a little piece of, what you do," and I think that's sick.
Well, what you have is you have a stage, right,
yeah,
to share what all those hours. I call it that 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. My happy places. My laptop's on my lap.
Yep.
And I'm shopping for something.
Well, that's the other thing. We're also addicts. We're shop addicts.
Yeah. Right now I'm on distributed audio and a projector.
Dude, I should talk to you.
Theater that I don't watch.
I want like a cheap projector for my son's birthday. It's like outside to blast. Not cheap.
I'm the wrong guy to ask.
You know what I mean? Like the mid where I'm not going to get robbed.
You need a Sony VPL VW 999ES. It's like $24.99. 24,000.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Make sure $24,000.
Yeah. Now you can get away with like a JVC NX7 for 7 or 8.
Dude, no, sir.
Yeah, no, I'm not the right guy. So let's talk about the Civic here.
Yeah,
I want to talk about this. Then I want to go and look through some questions here. So here's the plan. So OE stuff. So I'm going to just kind of work down my list here. So OE stuff. I need to figure out how to fix my gauge cluster because I got those white gauges on there. Obviously, it has like the little snap-in surround with a goofy gauge. Freaking punt those in the trash. So I have the OE surround.
Okay.
But they took the black SI gauges and put some white ones on there. What the heck did they do? Did they tear apart the gauge?
They
and
put
pull
an
them?
overlay sticker, I would assume, from eBay, which is weird to do.
Do you think
to that car.
that's coming off, or I got to buy a whole new?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I tried to influence you to get that spoon cluster.
Yeah. A thing I don't like about that is the mileage.
Yeah, the kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is take a heat gun to it and just be careful. And
Yeah.
hopefully, as cheap as the overlay is, they use cheap glue and it'll pop right off.
But those things come apart. I can take it apart.
Yeah, you can take the needles off that thing. Everything.
Okay, got it. All right, then I'm going to do the new plastic gauge, just the OE gauge without the stupid little air fuel ratio.
Oh, someone put like a
voltmeter, little what's the company?
Autometer.
Yes,
Yeah.
autometers on there.
AutoZone.
Get out of here.
Trash.
So one of the things I'm thinking about doing is, I'm getting the Mugen Msz Seats, which is a Recaro Sportster, basically.
Right.
Some variant of that, because I'm too fat, I'm too big for like a isn't it called Brid?
Yeah,
I always want to say
I say
bride.
bride.
Yeah.
Well, Mugen is also Mugen or something.
Yeah,
I
something
say
stupid.
I say Mugen.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell her.
I'm American,
But then again, I always correct everybody and say it's Krenzla, not Kranzel.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang it!
I'm
breaking my own rules that I made.
So you have loyalty to the Germans and not the Japanese.
Apparently, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the what I'm planning on doing is I want to keep the airbag.
Okay.
So because I'm going to give away the car and I don't want to get sued. So
is that actually a thing? You think?
I don't know.
It's got to be in the lawyer thing.
But I really want to keep the airbag just because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm getting my mortality here.
Right.
So I'm going to do an S2000 steering wheel.
I was going to say S2000 or EP3 steering wheel.
So I'm going to do a flat bottom Euro Boutique Alcantara red stitched match steering wheel, brand new, airbag. I'll wire in. You can get like a resistor, and you can wire in the cruise control and everything.
Oh, really?
So it'll look OE, but it'll match the seats.
That's what we call OEM plus.
Yeah. And so I don't love how the S2000 steering wheel sits in there, but I also don't want to do what every young JDM hot boy puts a quick release collar and some goofy Momo
Nardi
steering wheel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I just don't. That's just not my style.
No, I get it. I think. Is there any other OEM wheel that you like, or is the S2000 the only one? Because there's a lot of good OEM wheels.
I don't know. I think that. Obviously the Civic one, and there's terrible. But I love the idea because I'm tall and it doesn't tilt. And so doing flat bottom and Euro Boutique makes this amazing, it's going to cost me like $2,800 or so to do the steering wheel. But, I got to do what I got to do.
Okay.
So that's okay. That's acceptable in the JDM world.
I think OEM Plus is, like I told you, I've got like this weird thing with OEM stuff, and I like the idea of modding within the company as much as you can, and then when the stuff just doesn't exist, you got to go outside the company. You know what I mean? So
another expense I'm going to incur, another step I'm going to take we're going to talk about the engine in a minute, but I'm going to find some OE door cards, like the full door card, OE rear seat, and then have the door area reupholstered. So I'm going to take that leather SI interior that it has and keep it intact.
And you
take
want
it out of the car,
match.
and then I'm going to buy new stuff, and then I'm going to have I'm going to find somebody who's a ridiculous upholsterer to do, Alcantara and red stitched. I don't want to go crazy. I was thinking about doing red Civic Type R carpet in there, but I've nixed that idea.
Yeah, it's weird on the blue.
Yeah, really
it's weird on the blue. It's like I don't know.
And it's just Honda and red. Those are kind of the colors, and so all the Mugen seats and all of that have red stitching.
Right.
And so those are the seats I want.
Subtle things are okay, but if you did a red carpet, it might be
because the SI badge is red, and so I think if I stay under control there, I would love to pull the carpet out and do black, but I don't think it's really going to matter.
Stock?
Yeah.
I hated that in the late 90s. Everything was like a charcoal gray. Nothing was black. But if you look at the Type R, the dash is black.
Yeah.
Like your dash is like charcoal, right? Yeah.
Now they make black floor mats, so they still make OE Civic black floor mats. So I'm going to do those. I'll do the seats. I want to reupholster the rear seat, this new seat that I'm trying to get a hold of or just
you're trying to buy a new one then reupholster it? Makes sense. That makes sense.
But that's what
you don't want any.
I don't want some rat. I don't want somebody dumping some kid peeing in the back seat and it's all on the foam and it's funky.
Okay.
What's it going to cost me? $800 to buy a new seat?
If it's available.
Well, I'm going to find one. I'm trying to. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. So that's the plan of the interior, to do that. So
Subtle.
And I'm not going to tear the headliner out, even though it's kind of like that weird cream color.
Yeah.
But I'm good. So I've got to draw the line somewhere. And so that's one of the things I'm going to draw the line.
Isn't that the hardest part? That's why I always say people with my giveaway.
Yep.
It's like, I have to draw the line. I have to stop. I mean, I could spend $1 million in every car, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm trying on this one. I'm running out of places.
That's why the Honda is so appealing. Now you know why I was into it when I was 16 years old.
So wheels, I ordered Spoon SW388s.
Wheels, you ordered 4 sets.
5, yeah.
5?
TE37 RTs, which I
Okay.
have sitting over there.
I saw those.
Those are 15 by 8 plus 35.
Yeah.
I'm putting Bridgestone Potenza R71Rs, 205 50 15.
Mm-hmm.
So the stock overall diameter is 23.4 inches. You know, the overall diameter of the wheel and tire.
You get with those?
So it'll be 23.1.
Oh, that's fine.
That's as close as I can get with a 15 and a 205. Then I have RE30 CS Series 2 that are in a matte light gray. It's kind of like a bluish gray.
Like a slate.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it looks just like slate. Those are 16 by 7, so a little narrower versus the 15 by 8. They're plus 32, so those are going to be probably the most aggressive offset I have.
No, the T's were 15.8 25.
15.8 35.
35.
Yeah.
Those will be more aggressive than 16.7.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
A little, very little, but it will be.
So I'm going to run 205 45 16 on those.
So why the 205 instead of a 215? Is that just doing the
These
math?
215s are hard to get.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
a lot of choices in a 16.
In 16. 16s are hard across the board.
Yeah. And then I've got CE28N 16 by 7 plus 42. Those I'm going to run Dunlop Dureza 225 45.
Those are going to look the best, hands down.
I'm excited about that. They're in diamond black.
Yeah, diamond black. That's what's on the truck.
And then I bought 3 different types of raised lugs.
Okay.
Okay, blue ones, black ones, gray ones.
Just run the black.
Just kind of try them out.
Yeah.
And then I won't tell you what the Moton suspension cost.
You told me about it, though.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah, we won't talk about it
on
the air.
So I bought a $12,000.
Okay, so we're going to talk about it.
$12,000 Moton 3-way, but I have them. It's much like buying the Civic. I'm having them like valve and street,
dumbed down a little.
Right. So street valve, street springs.
So let me ask you, why not have gone with like an Aragosta or something that's like, I mean, it's made by AST.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, and to be fair, I would think the Motons are going to have longevity issues on the street.
Yeah.
They're dustless, shield, but they're going to be badass. Here's the only
problem. Reason I did those is because I can.
Because you could.
Yeah.
Of course. Everyone, when we were younger and you're looking at Hondas, you were doing that. You're like, yeah, someday I'm going to.
Well, this is that
Here's
day.
Today.
Yeah.
The only other thing is like that I hate, are they external reservoir?
Yeah. I think it's so cool.
Are they mounted on the body?
Well, we're going to mount it wherever we want.
See, that's the one thing I don't like about external reservoir is mounting.
Yeah.
So if you can call, I mean, is your strut tower bar round?
Well, the Mugen one.
Is it round?
So it's like oblong rounded.
So you can get like a CNC like double clamp.
I'm gonna come up with something cool for that.
But yeah, that's the one thing that just eats me alive is like thinking of mounting those.
Can you find me some? I need to find some Msz titanium lugs.
Yeah, that's probably not too bad.
I need those. It's only $600 or $700.
Titanium lug nuts.
Yeah, lug nuts. Yeah.
But you already have 3 sets.
Yeah. Yeah,
so you do want one for every set of wheels.
So here's the question. I want the hubs to be super pretty. I'm gonna stay 4 lug.
Yep.
Can I just buy like the new?
You can get them brand new.
Yeah,
I'm really upset that you didn't go 5 though.
The thing that bothers me is I got to buy some stinky old.
Take a vapor blaster, powder coater, and you can make them newer than what
It's
you
too
have.
late. I'm 5 wheels in.
Imagine he did that now. I wouldn't put it past you, but
I might still do it, but then I'd have 10 sets of wheels.
And you give them like the old. Well, you're gonna give them all the stock stuff though, like when you get rid of the car or whatever.
I think I'm gonna stay 4 lug and just do new hubs, because like the RTs don't have a center cap option. The T37
well,
RTs.
They technically do, but you have to like buy another piece. So all the super, what are they? SLs, the RTs.
Yeah.
You can buy a piece for that can make you house a center cap, but
I gotta go measure all the hubs on these so I can get the hub centric rings for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the center bore is on the wheels. I think they're 72 or 68 millimeters, but the hub is a 56.1 millimeters, I
Right.
think, on the Civic.
Yeah.
So I've got to get a pretty hub-centric ring for all these. That's something I just
You just
remember to
buy
do.
20 hub-centric rings.
Figure out which is the best
Billet
balance.
CNC.
So then Civic Type R headlights I bought.
That's sick.
So people are real cranky about that because they're going to be aimed for right-hand drive. I'll just have to adjust them a little bit.
It is true. When I drive my right-hand drive cars here,
Yeah.
you see them like going that way, but how often is someone going to drive that thing in the dark on a one lane, on a one of those roads?
Yeah, whatever. I don't care
Yeah, who
about
cares?
people getting flashed or whatever. All right, so spoon stuff should be here. So because I did new 5 lug, I had to do the twin blocks, not the monoblock calipers from
Yeah.
Spoon.
That sucks.
So four piston twin block calipers. I got Spoon rotors. I'm probably going to end up, I want to try to find, Project Mew has a really sick, like carbonized steel rotor that I want.
Okay.
I'm going to try to track those down. I really want a Spoon hood, but we're going to have to try to find one. I've been working.
Do you not
on
have time? Because can't you like order one?
They'll make one, but it'll be 12 months from now. I don't
Is
have
it-
that much
is it really?
time. Yeah.
Maybe you could talk to Streeter.
Well, I did. He's got a list. I haven't heard from him in a couple of days, but I just got to find someone who has one.
Right.
Everybody keeps sending me all these links. I'm like, you think I can't Google search
Right.
Vivid Racing?
That's the worst. Or you ask like, "Hey, I'm looking for this car," but you find like the opposite.
and they send
of
you
the car.
a link to Evasive.
Yeah.
Like they don't have
Evasive
it.
has everything on their site.
Yeah, but they don't have it.
No, they don't actually.
Otherwise,
have
I would just get it from them.
it. I'm surprised ICB doesn't have it.
Yeah, he doesn't have one. Toda header, so I ordered
Yep.
that. That should be their manufacturing. That should be here in a couple of days. I did the Apex I always thought it was Apexi.
Yeah, Apex.
Apparently it's Apex I. WS2, I hate it. So I ordered a RMO1A Fujitsu
The
boat.
Fujitsu booth, that's sick.
So that from Vivid Racing, who said they had it, and then of course they're like, "Well, can you wait 6 weeks for it?"
Yep.
So 6 to 8 weeks on that.
Streeter would have got you that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, shoot. I
No
might
offense,
just get 2 of them. I might have them just get me one.
Yeah.
B18C radiator hose, a Spoon hoses, Spoon rigid collar set, Spoon oil cap, radiator cap, Duracom shift knob, brake line kit.
You bet you have to do the Spoon valve cover. If you're not going to do the Toda ITBs,
Okay.
you have to
I'll
do
get
the
one.
yellow
I'll get
Spoon
one of those.
valve
I need to make another Spoon order because I want to get those Spoon mirrors too.
yeah,
I'm
those
gonna
are
ask
cool.
him about that. So I have Spoon strut tower braces front and rear, but I already have the Mugen ones and the DC ones.
So wait, you ordered them or that's just on your list?
No, I ordered them. All the ones with the check I already have.
Have you told anyone what you've spent on the car so far? Or you're
Yeah,
not- or
I
trying
think
not
I'm
to?
88,000 in, something like that. Let's see. Rear
$88,000.
I already have the Mugen rear strut tower bars. Fan switch, Spoon's fan switch.
You had to go out of your way to spend that.
Spoon thermostat. It happens fast.
When you buy 6
5
of
sets of
everything.
wheels, yeah.
and 2 sets of strut tower bars
Yeah.
that are grand.
The radiator mounting bracket, Spoon,
Those are
the
cool.
blue wide mirrors. I want to track down a Spoon radiator. You sent me a couple of links. I probably should just give it a flyer and see if I get them.
Yep.
Spoon wiper blade set.
Ooh, I haven't looked at those. I'll look. That's weird.
They're like $80 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And then I really want the Spoon carbon racing mirrors. In a perfect world, when this car is done, Spoon carbon hood, Spoon carbon mirrors.
The mirrors I found you were plastic or were they carbon?
No, they're carbon. I gave it to Streeter, but I haven't. Yeah, he hasn't.
He'll get back to you probably today because your Sunday night is there
Yeah.
Monday morning or something.
Then we talked about the Mugen Msz Seats,
Yep.
and I ordered Buddy Club and Brid seat rails
Yep.
just to see which one fits. So that was
The Buddy Club ones are going to be the best.
I hope so. Those I got from King. They're due in about 4 or 5 weeks. Then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with the shifter. And so I have the K-Tech stuff, and then or K-Tuned.
I'll find you a C's.
Oh, yeah.
C's
yeah,
is the
yeah.
best.
That's what I had back in the day.
Yeah, I'll find you a C's because I found one the other day for a CRX with a B series, but they use different linkage, so I have to find one for like a Civic Type.
I also have the hybrid racing one. I'm going to put them all on and try them out.
I'm sure they're all good. The C's
I'd
is
love to
just
get a C's.
untouchable.
So now audio.
You're losing. I'm gone. I'm out. I checked out.
Here's what we're going to
As soon as
do.
he said audio.
We're going to do a Sony RSX GS9, which is basically like a high-end Sony ES audio receiver.
Okay.
But so it doesn't have a radio. It's I think it has a copper chassis, and it's just like an FLAC, like a high res audio player, like receiver.
And where's that going to be?
That's will be right in the, where the
You should
single
put
din.
it in the glove box and keep the OEM one where it belongs.
That's stupid.
How rad would that be?
Single din.
Okay.
Okay.
You going to put screens in the headrests?
No.
No chance?
No. I want high-end audio. I hated all that stuff. I railed against all that. Even when I was selling car audio, I'd talk people out of doing it.
Really?
Seats and headrests and the seats and all that.
That was the worst.
So no. Sound cue. That was my thing. And we don't want too much bass. We want it to be sound cue. So I'm going to do that head unit. Dyne Audio 3-way separates. I'm shipping the car to Boston to my friends at Sound & Motion, and they're going to do all this stuff. We're going to see if we can fit a subwoofer, like an infinite baffle subwoofer in the like where your feet go in the passenger footwell. Believe it or not, if you have a subwoofer that is wired 180 degrees out of phase and it's firing down into the footwell, it uses the whole firewall as like your front stage.
Where will your passenger sit?
Well, I mean, the box is like
it's
this
small.
deep.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
just don't know if we have enough room. Like a Porsche has a ton of foot room.
Yeah.
And so they build these boxes where the subwoofer's facing upside down, has a neodymium magnet on the front, and then all that you have this perfect dispersion. Like you can't tell where the subwoofer is. It'd be amazing. That'd be a couple grand, but and then we're talking about doing a Moscone processor and amplifier. So that's the audio plan. Really simple. So
no
I'd have
tweeters, nothing drilled in anywhere.
Well, we'd make some custom kick panels with a single tweet, and then 4-inch, and then 7-inch in the door. So it'll be a 3-way separate, but we'll get rid of the 6x9s in the rear. So just be pure front stage, no rear stuff.
Oh, okay.
Just like, really well imaged, well tuned.
How much weight you think that's going to add to your NA?
Probably 50 pounds.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, 50, 80 pounds, 100, 300, 500 pounds, something like that. Now let's talk about the motor. This is the part that gets everybody all wound up. So
why?
Because they want me to keep the B16 in there.
They've never driven a car with a B16 then.
Yeah, but it's original. And it's 27,000 miles.
Yeah, who cares? That's even more of a reason to take it out. 27,000 miles is still
Keep
good.
it.
It's on the side, yeah.
Yeah.
Put on a stand, make a nice powder coat, zinc plate, everything.
I'll buy a spoon valve cover for that.
And then get the stock one refinished and put on the side.
Yeah. And it's like, look, 27,000. I'm such a jerk and such a baller that I'm going to take this perfect motor and I'm going to let no one experience it. It's just
There's nothing to experience. I need everyone to know that. There's nothing.
Explain that.
Okay, so it makes 160 horsepower.
At the crank.
At the crank.
New.
Brand new. And then if you put a bunch of mods on it, you might hit 150 wheel. If you're lucky. And the coolest part of it is it revs at 8250. I think it's 8250. That's not a thing, though. Revving isn't a thing if you're not going anywhere. I've noticed a lot of people. My favorite argument is like the AP1 versus AP2 S2000. I want an AP1 that revs to 9. I'm like, it's probably a worse engine. Honda doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
They didn't change it, and people are, oh, I need 9,000 RPM. No, you don't.
It's worse. Yeah,
it's
the power
worse.
delivery is less power, less torque.
Yeah. So
Worse
the
power
B16
delivery.
is an inferior engine.
To a B18.
And dream build as a Honda boy in 2001 when that car came out was a
B18,
Type R swap.
B18C Type R swap.
That's it.
Yeah, LSD.
That's it. There's nothing else. I mean, this was pre-K series.
Right.
And it was
the problem with K.
The king.
I was talking to John at LHT about K.
They're ugly.
He says it like vibrates the chassis and all that.
Well, it's because you need these mounts, and the problem isn't the K. The problem is the consumers out there. And what I mean by that is they won't spend money for a quality product. So companies then go, okay, well, no one's going to buy these mounts for their $800, so we have to make them $400. So we're going to have to make them solid.
That is my nightmare. That's the Corvette world I just came from.
Consumers have ruined the car game. I don't want to say it like that, but that's the problem is Hasport, when looking at mounts, goes, well, it's cheaper to do it this way, and no one really cares. And now when you swap a car, it feels like shit. So that's why the B series, A, it's a more attractive motor. When you pop the hood, it looks way cooler. Yeah, I think. B, it's OEM. You could put that in there with stock mounts. Yeah, and that's that. Until you drive a car with shitty mounts, you won't appreciate that.
And we're gonna make 195 horsepower at the wheels.
Yeah, for $30,000.
No. It's gonna be like
12. Yeah. Yeah, so B18C 5 or B18C, whatever. What are you doing are you doing high compression?
So we're going to do we're going to do Hasport billet motor mounts. Okay.
They might vibrate a little bit.
Oh, shoot. Maybe
I rode in a car with Hasport mounts. I drove a car 2 days ago. I could tell they were there, but it wasn't that bad.
High compression pistons, new bearings, refreshed cylinder head, new OEM timing belt and water pump, new gaskets and seals. Skunk 2 tuner cams. The only reason I'm doing the Skunk 2 over something like Toda is John has a ton of experience with those, and they just work. I wanted to do some Toda cams, but he's like, look, you want these.
Right.
So
I'm surprised you listened to him.
Yeah, I almost
I trust
I almost
him.
didn't.
I'm just surprised
I just
you
need to
said-
trust him to let him. 93 pump, new Honda OEM clutch kit, new JDM red valve cover. We made it with the spoon. Clean bead blast, paint refresh any parts, Honda S300 ECU and harness, and remove old motor, and then dyno tune. So it'd be like $12,000.
That's not bad. I mean, it'll be cool.
So I'm a moron for spending $12,000 for 50, 60 horsepower.
I mean, you're a Honda boy. No, you're not a moron. You're
It's
just being a
60
Honda boy.
horsepower.
That's all you get.
Yeah,
Unless
but
you
that's
supercharge
legit.
yeah, I mean, kind of.
It'd be too.
It's kind of legit. I mean, it'll be cooler than it is right now and faster.
Yeah. Or we do ITBs, which would be probably
yeah.
210 at the wheels, 205 at the wheels.
And it'll. My thing with ITBs isn't so much the negatives, and it's not even the looks. It's just that's the dream. When I was 16, it was like I need ITBs. I don't know what they do.
I think the Toda ITBs are like 3,300.
Yeah, and then you get that nice carbon plenum cover instead of just running them open flutes. Like I sent you that.
Yeah.
That's like another $1,500 or something. But dude, you can hear them. You know how people talk about like old carbureted cars and how they sound, the intake. You can hear ITBs, and when you pop that hood, no one will disrespect the fact that you have ITBs in there. You know. And the other thing is, I think it's cleaner than the stock intake manifold with all the hoses and the all the vacuum lines and all that. The ITBs they're going to take over the engine bay. You're going to pop the hood and you're just going to see them. And I don't know. I think it's the Honda boy move. I don't think it's good for anything.
But aren't I going to be sputtering and puttering and sometimes not going to start and all that?
No, I mean my K Miata was on. I forget the size now. I want to say 62 millimeter, but I don't think it's that big. I think maybe it was 62 millimeter ITBs, which are huge. It was on the 85. And that car fired up with an idle, did everything. You just need a good tuner. Is the guy who's doing the engine the tuner?
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good tuner, that's the only experience I've ever had. I had no problems with
all
ITBs.
right, $16,000 for the engine.
Yeah, you're gonna be
70 horsepower.
Yeah, but it's gonna be so sick. It's got a carbon plenum, like carbon.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And then you saw all the hard race stuff. So. Front forks, drop forks, lower control arm, upper camber kit, front and rear camber kit, rear lower control arm, brake master cylinder, front traction bar, rear subframe stabilizer length. Got all kinds of.
You did sway bar, stuff like that.
Yeah. Rear sway bar end links. Basically every piece made.
Basically, you're making your brand new car brand new again, right? That's the goal. How can I make this very low mileage brand new car brand new again?
Better brand new.
Yeah, brand
like
new.
OEM brand new plus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's gonna be cool. I mean, the car, it's not gonna win any races, but it's gonna be a sick car.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to set up, and it'll probably make it worse, but it'll be fun.
It's just gonna be fun to look at too.
Yeah, that's what this thing is all about. So that's the plan. Am I on the right track?
I think it'll be sick.
There really isn't much else to do unless I did a headliner.
You can get carried away with interior though, and you have to remember it's like a Civic at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you get carried away, it's like
I got to figure out the shift boot and some of the other stuff.
Can you get them brand new still?
Yeah, you can get. But the problem is, it depends on what shifter I do. I don't want to. The shifter's like it's like. I can't reach it.
That is
my head's
weird.
touching the roof. So I'm hoping what happens is if I could do like a standard C's, like a seat short shifter with the same length, but if my seat's lower, then
I was
going
gonna
to
say your
have
seats
some
are gonna change.
goofy Honda boy
Yeah.
double latched on, double connected.
Oh
thing.
yeah, with the little thing that moves it over and up.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
like
I think the seats will be huge because right now your seat's so high, your steering wheel's so low, your shifter's so low. Like once you lower that seat, I think you'll be way better.
Yeah. So let's go look at some comments here. I gotta figure out where the heck they are.
Youngblood said, "I've been said, gotta have ITBs." He's 100% accurate. Said it. He said it in a confusing way, but he's 100%
I
accurate.
forget where the stream studio is. God dang it.
Well, I can see these. I've ordered a spoon exhaust head and Valco recently. Just
Yeah.
wanted to share. Just the guy's just flexing on you.
Yeah, I just don't want to open up the stream because then I'll mess it up. Here we go. Control room. That's
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
So what, you can see the comments in that?
Yeah, well, I don't want to run the stream on here because then it kills our crappy.
Oh, the bandwidth.
Yeah. So if I could pop out chat here.
There you go.
Yeah, if you guys want to get my attention, send me some money.
That works.
Let's see if we got any super chats. No super chats.
Jeez.
All right, man. We don't have very many comments. What the heck's going on, people?
They're just listening.
Give me some questions here. So we'll start at the top here. Balic Industries makes titanium lug nuts.
A lot of people do,
Belac.
and you can get custom ones done, but you got to have the spoon ones.
88 Matt, you're nuts. No, I'm
He is nuts.
I'm just a guy. And let's see, Matt. I take a $70,000 salary. Also, Matt, I'm at $88,000 into an EM1 Civic. Oh shoot. I said my
He
salary
goes,
I draw
shoot.
is $70,000, but this guy is out of his mind. I'm assuming they're talking about me, not you.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Yeah, so that's going to be a $100K Honda, H Motors. Yeah, I've been on H Motors playing around trying to find stuff. It just hasn't been anything I really wanted from there.
No.
But yeah, they're the kind of source. All said and done, we're talking 130K, maybe. I hope not.
Well, okay, wait. Will that be the most expensive, like, obsessed garage car?
They're all about the same.
Oh, yeah.
The 1M
I've
is about
noticed that,
100K, and no, because I'm going to be doing a GT3. That's my next car.
Yeah, that'll obviously.
I'm going to do. I want to do a 997 GT3.
Oh, that's cool. Manual.
Yep. That's the goal. Maybe even a 997 GT3 RS. We'll see how spicy I want to get. The only problem with those is not much I can do other than dial it in.
Right.
Let's
Get
see.
some wheels.
K24s are for posers. I don't want that.
Posers.
Double check the quality of the welds of the Buddy Club rails. Some have poor quality welds and contacts. I won't actually be driving this as long as it can hold my weight when I'm sitting there.
He won't actually be driving it. He'll just.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm telling you guys. Bryson says Art of Attack, Nemo's Garage has Spoon's parts in stock. No, they don't. Everybody buys from Spoon USA.
Everyone does.
Right,
Yeah.
and so they're just drop shipping from Spoon USA. They might have a couple of the little
Trinkety,
wrist wrap things that you put on the.
They might have lug nuts, certain ones or something,
and one like
'Cause they work for everything.
one Spoon and one for one car.
Right.
But they're all getting it. I just bought it direct from Spoon. But they all say they have a Spoon hood and they have Spoon mirrors, but they don't.
Right.
It's because they're buying it from Spoon, and Spoon has already told me they don't have it.
Well, it's not cost effective to bring in one EM1 hood that they probably won't sell unless you come along.
Yep.
It costs a fortune to ship it over.
Yeah. So some of these guys agree with us about B16 over B18.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, B18 over B16.
It's a no-brainer. Anyone that argues that just hasn't experienced anything.
And we can do it, legit.
Well, the other thing is, you're not like throwing the B16 in the garbage.
No.
You're gonna put that thing on display. It's actually gonna be cooler to have it out of the car.
But what's going to happen is no one in the right mind, so someone's going to win the car. And everybody keeps saying, if I win the car, I'm going to put it back.
No way.
No way. You're going to drive it. You're going to drive it, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna sell it, and you're gonna use that money to buy something for your girlfriend or something. No one, that's what they're gonna do.
This is true.
They're gonna take that B16 that's on the stand,
get a really crappy engagement ring.
Yeah.
Some $1,800 engagement ring or something.
After you got your girlfriend pregnant, and you won a Civic from Matt, buying too much detail
I don't
spray.
think that's not really my audience, bro. That's your audience.
No, maybe it is. That's cool.
Wire tuck. That's a good idea.
It's
I need
tough.
to do that.
You got to talk to your
John,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, wire tuck is Honda Boy, early 2000 Honda Boy.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that. I'm like, I'm going to do that, man.
You got to
I tell
extend the
everybody.
injector wires like through the intake manifold, but you'll have ITBs. So it'll be even easier.
Yeah.
Wire tuck's the way.
The question is, can I get the Toyota ITBs quickly?
I'll put in a call to Streeter.
Yeah.
Get him here next week.
ITBs are required.
I
sent LA. Do you know Tommy?
No, I don't.
I sent him a message, but he never got back. He never responded.
Is he a YouTuber or something?
Yeah, he has like 50 or 60,000 subscribers, something
Honda
like
boy?
that. Yeah. He has a bunch of Honda stuff, specifically these Type R's and Civics and EK
That's
EG
sick.
hatches and stuff.
No one knows this, but I am currently hunting an EK9 in Japan and UK in the UK for eventually. Everyone's telling me how to do a Honda build, and I don't really know the route I take, but I just want to own one. Like you wanted your dream EM1, you got to experience it.
Yeah.
I always want a Type R, and I'm sure I'll hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like they're slow,
He says, I found a 1 mile spoon cluster on Insta with box and original invoice. Send it to me. I'll buy it.
Do you know how much money that is?
You said it was like $8,000.
The last one I saw sold for like $7,400.
I'll buy it.
If you tell that dude.
You find me that, I'll buy it.
That is the holy grail.
I just don't
I
want
wouldn't
it in
even put it in the
kilometers,
car.
though.
I'd put it in a glass case next to the car with the B16.
Yeah. Winter Rupes coming. What I think you mean stock. We've got it. Let's see. They loved your comment about the Bird Ninja says that killed me making a new car again.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
That's what I do. Yeah. Why would I want to do anything else?
I try to do the same.
I don't want to take some crappy, stinky old car and try to make it.
Civics
half
are
as
some
good.
of the worst cars out there. Like aged, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not taken care of.
Let's see. I suddenly don't feel bad about my $30,000 Civic build. Yeah, I'm in it.
It's child's play.
No, it's for the views, buddy. It's for the views, for the 12,000 views I get in a video. Let's see.
That guy has a point. Eric Sanders says the best part of EK is the sheer amount of parts. Also means a lot of shit parts. No, I love like good aftermarket support. And like Mugen, Spoon, Toda all are stoked on the chassis and they make stuff. You got to go to Japan and go to Top Stage or Type 1. Sorry.
So Thomas West poses a valid question. What about Motons is the dream? I personally think Penske MCS may net a better experience. Is it just the setup you drooled over 2 decades ago? Moton, I don't think was around 2 decades ago.
I don't think any of them were.
Yeah. The problem is all the ones I drooled over don't exist anymore.
I always drooled over Ohlins.
Yeah.
That was my.
Yeah, but I mean that's not not
chat.
on the same level. Ooh, $10.
Thanks for the live. That's a good one. Don't
Appreciate
you like the thank yous?
I do.
It goes a long way. A $10 thank you. That's a good thank you.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
bagel.
Tommy knows a guy. You gonna have a sale this weekend? I'm not. We don't have anything to sell. Have you ever thought of building an early Ford Bronco? No, those are cool though. I get that.
I like beach cruisers. I don't live anywhere near a beach, but something about beach cruisers. Like Defender 90s and stuff. They're just cool.
Let's see. Matt, when someone starts a conversation with you with the words dollar for dollar, how difficult is it for you not to punch them in the throat?
Dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
That is a battle.
Yeah.
I used to always say, and I don't want to say this and like sound like I'm a dickhead, but I can't. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
No, it's not even controversial. It's just too frowned upon. But it's justifying things is not. It doesn't have a place. If you really want something.
Yeah, it's like why rail so much against the term overpriced?
Apparently. Well, it's like, like with the Volk wheels. How many people think you're crazy for buying one set of Volk? Forget 5. Like, you don't need to spend $3,000 to get a good set of wheels. Correction. You do need to spend.
Somebody told me, why are you buying from ICB Volk wheels overpriced?
He's got them.
Where am I going to get them from?
There's a ton of little, guys who just have Volk accounts, but ICB buys, literally, I've talked to Matt, and he's one of the only dudes with OG TEs in the country, brand new.
Mm-hmm.
My GTR wheels are OG 17 9.5 12 white. I think they have a 2004 build date on them,
Yeah.
Brand new, I got them from.
Yeah.
Who else has wheels from 2004
Yeah.
in stock? You know, and like when these come about, right? No one knows this, but when you want, let's just say Matt sold wheels, and he's like, okay, we have this S2000. We want this fitment, but we want it in this color. Sometimes that color, if it's not run on other wheels, they'll be like, you need 400 units.
Yeah.
You need to buy those in 400 units. So if you want white 1710 45Cs, you need to buy 400 of them.
Right.
Matt does it.
Yeah.
He's the only dude that does it. Other people are, you know, they're like, we can't sell 400 of those.
Yeah.
You know, and he's also the dude who single-handedly brought back Regas. Or Regas.
I bought those too.
Yeah, the SW380s. That's some of my FD, the OG, original.
Alex is asking me what's the ETA in the new stainless funnel. What do you think about this? So,
dude, I just saw that comment. I like the idea of a stainless funnel.
Well, it's not stainless; it's aluminum.
I like the idea of an aluminum funnel.
But this is a funnel that snaps into the quick disconnect on the foam cannon.
Oh,
it's gonna be
that's cool.
It's gonna be like $280 for this funnel.
Oh,
you
couldn't have had it 3D printed in plastic.
We could. But then it wouldn't be aluminum.
Maybe offer like a plastic version.
It's not going to be that much, but it's going to be the really expensive funnel because I have a helicopter manufacturer. One of my friends he's the CEO of a helicopter company where they arm helicopters.
Okay.
And so they had a little bit of downtime in the winter, and so he made
they made Obsessed Garage funnels.
He made me some of these very precise quick disconnects for the foam cannon.
Oh.
But he was making like 100 at a time, and precisely on their CNC machines.
Right.
And so I wanted to make them in stainless, but stainless was going to be 2.5 times the cost.
Right.
And so he was like, "Man, I don't know." I said, "Well, just make them, and tell me what they cost, and then I'll sell them for what they need to cost."
Right. Somebody wants them.
I do.
Somebody's like you.
I want it.
Yeah, I want it.
And so it's $125 for the foam cannons are $90.
Right.
But the quick disconnect is this little thing that allows you to snap it on instead of screwing it on. It's $125 for this quick disconnect, so it's more than the item.
You only need to buy it once, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
But I'm not going to sell that. Someday, if we make tens of thousands of them, then they might be at $50 or $30.
Yeah, buy them all now so that.
So what I do is I'm creating something that now exists that didn't exist before, and it just cost whatever it cost.
Yep.
I'm retailing it for whatever it needs to retail for, and some people think I'm the worst human in the world for doing that, for creating something that wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. If you create anything, that's
and so
cool.
To me,
is that one right there?
What? No, that's a different one. To me, it's like, why would you? What does the term overpriced mean?
Yeah, I mean it's one off.
It cost me X. I need to operate at Y margin, and the Y margin is not $1,000. The Y margin is like $20.
Right.
To make it so that I can pay someone to put it in a box and make a few bucks on it.
You may get lucky, and one of your viewers buys one, and he's a doctor, and it also works on some crazy machine. And next thing you know,
you were cranking them out.
You crank them out. I mean, I've literally looked into marine stuff. I mean, you're running that compressor. That's not a car product.
Right.
And some people think it's crazy what that costs, but a dentist doesn't.
Yeah. So
some stuff's got to start somewhere, and then once it's there, the market follows.
We're making a funnel. It's gonna be $100-something for the funnel, and people are gonna give me a real hard time about it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Rupes now these are the polishers. Rupes polisher. You've got one. The reason why they're not in stock is because Rupes didn't go to work for.
Really?
They're in Colorado, pretty locked down.
Oh.
And they're not essential, and so
they didn't change over to make
their parent company's in Italy, so they said, "Look, we're not taking any risk.
Right.
Shut her down."
Makes sense.
For like 50 days, and so we're waiting for them. So we have like pallets of them on order. Would you get an EG hatch?
Are they asking you, me, or you?
Well, me.
I had EG hatches. They're awesome. I would never get it. I probably wouldn't get another one. What about you?
Remember Bulletproof Automotive?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I guess they're still business.
Yeah. Just not as big.
They were OG.
Oh, I used to shop on their C West kits. I'm like, oh man, if someday I could just get a C West.
I used to look at all the NSX stuff.
I'd do it so much better because we'd mold it in. We'd mold the body kit.
You got 2 super chats. You got that one, and you got a big boy.
Loving the content. Thanks. Oh, my boy Yoshi. How far down is the EM1 getting stripped to zinc plate all the bolts?
I'd like to get my hand in that zinc plating.
How do I do that, man? How
you
do I
got
buy
to
this
take
stuff
all
from
the
you?
bolts off and put them in a bucket, and then
Okay.
send them, and then they'll zinc plate them, and they'll send them back,
Oh,
and then you got to put them back in where they go.
I can do that.
It's not bad. You
Yeah.
know? Or you can get even crazier, and you can look at the bolts and go online and order
Can I get
new
them?
ones.
Can I get them gold plated?
That's what zinc. I mean, like real gold?
I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Silver. Silver would be good.
Like real silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good on your Civic.
What do you think of Honda Beats?
Are they asking me?
Yeah.
I don't like K cars. Do you know what a Honda Beat is?
Not really.
A 660cc.
Is it like the little box thing?
Yeah, K car. Well, they're kind of rad looking. They're mid-engine.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a motorcycle. They're in Japan. There's different like tax breaks for these shitty little K cars, and that's why you see like the mini trucks too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just how the Japanese do it.
Hmm.
So they're trash, but they're kind of cool.
What is JGTC style?
JGTC is their race. It's like their Le Mans races.
Oh.
So JGTC, like the JGTC 300 is limited to 300 horsepower, I think, and then there was a 500. It's like all their like race cars. That's like their top racing. It's cool, but I don't think there was an EM1 Civic in it. You know, it was like Supra, NSX, Skyline. I don't know if there were Skylines probably.
Let's see. Matt should do a rotary. I just don't have any desire for that.
When my FD's done, you can drive it, and it's just the way. I don't care about rotaries. I'm not like a rotary guy, but they rev like so smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's the smoothest thing you'll ever feel because there's nothing. You know, it just rotates. It's a rotary, so it's the smoothest thing. It's crazy. It's cool, but they're not. I don't know. They're rotary, so they have their problems.
Yep, Matt likes to spend money. Time for a rotary.
Yeah.
3D,
you can spend a lot of
3D
money.
printed titanium funnel only option. Let's see. Shout outs to OEM+++.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What the heck's going on here? Why is it jumping on? We were about done here. People we're about out of question. Let's see. Definitely needed the zinc bolts. Who is your CAD guy? I have info for him. I don't have a CAD guy. Do you have a CAD guy?
What's a CAD guy like SolidWorks?
No. CAD.
I've never done any of that. I think it's cool, but I'm not a computer guy like that.
Let's see. Somebody's asking something about. Let's see. I'm the same age as you, Matt, and my dream has always been to have a built CRX or EF. What's the EF?
EF's
hatch?
the same Civic generation as a CRX.
Got it. I've owned an EM1, and while I did like it, it didn't tickle me like the late 80s, early 90s Honda did. I don't know why I didn't get into the hatches because, in 95, 96, 97, I was living in like American Carville.
Right.
In
it's got to be hot. Where'd you live?
Hazleton, Pennsylvania, the Poconos.
Oh. So you weren't that far from me.
No.
I mean, maybe 3 hours or something.
Yeah, and then when I moved to Philly, then that's when I kind of got in the car scene.
Okay.
And I got a job selling stereos, high-end stereos, and it was a commission job, and so then that's where I got my EM1.
I guess it makes sense. I'm surprised you didn't get an S2000, but I guess it makes sense that's like you wanted newer. See, I was like going backwards. I thought the older stuff was cool.
So Alex is talking about you. He said there's no doubt that it would sell out of funnels and would sell out of QDs if we made them in stainless. I know many guys are willing to pay for convenience, service, and quality. That's what you do. Yeah, we talked about we'll probably make a stainless one as well. I wanted to get some of the aluminum ones out there in the wild and make sure people liked it.
Is aluminum cheaper than stainless?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot cheaper
Oh,
right now.
cool.
Right now it is anyway. The bigger issue is it's easier to CNC because it's softer.
Oh, they're gonna be CNC.
These are all CNC.
I don't really know how you'd make a funnel. I would think you'd stamp smash it,
No,
but I guess
think
since you
they're
need that,
chopping this out of a block of aluminum.
that's gonna be expensive. It's a lot cheaper to CNC aluminum too than
Timeline for OG tire dressing hit the store. That should be hopefully this next
that the stuff I
week
saw
or
today?
so. Yeah. All right, people, we're running out of gas here. At least I am. So
What's this guy saying?
I'm a freelance engineer, member of Catapult in Lakeland, 0.5 mil in brand new CNC, available for me to use. I can work with him if he wants. Okay, cool. That's what he's talking about. So he's saying if my buddy needs some CNCing, help, they've got a low production solution in Lakeland.
That's close too, right?
Yeah. Cool.
All
right, people. Appreciate you watching. A little impromptu video. We got about 400 or 500 people watching on a Tuesday afternoon. Not too shabby for
Thanks,
a live.
Corona.
Yeah. Well, we made $106 chat revenue.
Dang. What are you gonna do with that?
I've apparently already spent it on ITBs.
You're gonna lose 30%.
Yeah, I'm 1/32 closer.
There you go.
To getting it.
Not bad.
Yeah. All right, people. Catch
Pay
you
attention.
soon. Go to watch Tommy's channel. Tommyfyeah. Tommyfyeah on Instagram.
Yep. Thank you.
Facebook. Sign up for his giveaways. Help him build
Hell
cars. Get him make some monies. We'll catch you guys on the next one.